99.7 DJX, the Ben Davis and Kelly K Show podcast. Turn it up. On demand.
Good morning, Ben Davis, Kelly K Show. Want to toss the phone number out real quick, 502-571-9970. You can call or text for this, especially if you've got an issue that you just want a bunch of people to weigh in on. You can always message us, Ben and Kelly Show. We'll call you back and get you on the phone, and you can explain it to us what's going on. So, hey there, Jess.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, so thanks, first of all, for allowing us to contact you on this. Will you walk us through what your issue is?
Yeah, thank you for listening. So my boyfriend finally proposed to me last month. Really exciting.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and it was after dating for the past 2.5 years, so It's been a while.
Right.
He was super, super romantic about it, had flowers, and proposed while we were at a cabin for the weekend.
Nice.
Thanks. And after he proposed, he gave me the ring, and of course I said yes. I was so, so happy.
Right.
And then he told me he wanted to wait and get married in the summer of 2023. What?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's 2 whole years away from now. So, as much as I love him, I'm upset that he asked me then, added in that little disclaimer after I'd already said yes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you talking to him about it? Are you trying to move up the date or?
Yeah, I'm trying to convince him to move the date to next summer.
Right.
And we're already both in our late 20s, and there's no reason to wait. And money, isn't really an issue either. So if he wants to marry me, why would he want to wait 2 years?
Okay.
Now I'm starting to just get paranoid that he's trying to tie up some sort of secret thing before then. Am I normal to think that 2 years is too long to wait?
Yeah, that does seem a little bit odd that, without any sort of real reason, he's wanting to delay it 2 years. I know a 2-year engagement isn't all that out of the ordinary, for couples. It happens all the time, but I can understand you're wanting to question that. So, we've already got some people texting in. So, I tell you what, Jess, if you want to hang out a little bit, maybe we can help steer you in that right direction.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So we got a guy chiming in. Matt says, isn't marriage supposed to be for the rest of your life? Why does it matter to wait an extra year or so? Sounds like he took his time proposing, making it special. Maybe he plans to do the same with the wedding.
Maybe. I had an engagement that was about 1.5 years. However, my wife and I, Elizabeth, were living long distance at the time, and it was one because we couldn't decide on a date, and then when we did, the venue was booked, and then so it was like we just kept kicking it down the road until we finally got married. But
yeah, there are lots of situations where, long engagement seems to make sense, especially if the bride and groom are really young, if they're working on things like with their career, if they are living apart, if there are things like that. But that doesn't seem to be a factor with them. So I get why she's like, why are we waiting 2 years? That doesn't seem to be any sort of a valid reason why they're doing that.
Right.
We got everything done in 8 months. We got engaged, sold 2 houses, built one, got married, 8 months. Boom.
There you go. Cassie kind of is throwing up that red flag detector too, just saying, hey, you need to follow your instincts on this one. So would love to hear what you have to say, 502-571-9970, or you can always a message at Ben and Kelly Show. So we spoke with Jess. She's engaged to be married. She's freaking out, though, because her new fiance, is like, hey, now that you said yes, let's wait until 2023 to get married. And she's all like, what? What's he hiding? Why has he got to... I mean, we're in our late 20s. We love each other. Why can't we just plan the date, get married, in a, quote, normal time?
It is weird that he's not giving a reason.
Yeah.
For the waiting 2 years. That's the biggest thing I think that is interesting in this situation is if he's saying, yes, yay, I want to marry you, but in 2 years, and this is why.
Right.
But he hasn't really told her why.
Yeah, Jake brings up some great points on text. Says Jake here, I don't think we're getting all the information from her. Are they not moved in together? Is he up for a promotion? Are they moving soon? The guy may just want to wait and see if the honeymoon engagement phase changes. Is it her money, or where is it not an issue? Or,
Well, she said that none of that stuff was an issue. Like the career stuff was in place. They're in their late 20s. Money isn't a thing. Like all the typical things that might, make a longer engagement more of a realistic thing. They don't seem to be in play here. So that's why she's confused.
Yeah, several people are pointing out the fact that, hey, you know what? He may want to be waiting that long for, the pandemic to settle down, COVID to settle down, so they can have a big wedding. And but if that were the case, I feel like he would have just said that, like, hey, let's wait a couple years. We want to have the right wedding, so let's make sure that everything is settled down, and we can have the wedding that we really want.
But still, it's like you can't really put a timestamp on that. It's hopefully it's going to get even better like this year. But to say 2023. Seems like a good year where everything's going to be good again.
Yeah. All right. We got a message from Derek, and I want to read the first sentence, and we'll get to Derek's comment here in just a second. But he says, I don't want to freak Jess out anymore, but... dot.
Oh, what's Derek saying?
All right.
He's a guy, so he might... have some information that might be relevant. Oh, dang.
All right, hang out. We got that next. Spoke with Jess. She's getting married in 2 years. However, she found out she was getting married in 2 years after she said yes. And she's all like, why do we have to wait? What's he hiding?
In 2023.
Yeah, 2023.
It's just a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then we get some messages from Jen. Maybe he saved money for the ring. Now he wants to save money for her wedding. Maybe she's impossible to please. Or maybe he's a narcissist and has no intention of marrying her, and she's going to get pregnant. Oh, wow. That was a lot.
I like the rabbit hole you went down, though. That was...
It was a winding road of possibilities.
Sure.
Kind of like a choose your own adventure. And then Lexi is rolling in with some kind of simple, cold, hard facts. In my opinion, when you propose to someone, that means you're ready to get married then and there. Don't propose if you're not ready, or at least give a good reason.
Yeah, Jordan kind of messaged us the same thing. He says, I'm of the opinion that if you propose to someone, you should be ready to marry them tomorrow, if possible. Yeah. And regarding the engagement, if there's no reason to prolong the engagement, 2 years does seem long. However, 2 years isn't long if they've talked about issues or wanting a long time to plan, but it definitely seems like the opposite conversation has happened. Yeah, that's a good point there, Jordan. So Derek has messaged us and said, I don't want to freak Jess out anymore, but trust your instincts. Because I got engaged a couple years ago. My fiance wanted to wait too. We set the date for this year, but not going to happen. Because I found out the reason she wanted to wait was because she was seeing someone else at the same time as me.
Okay.
When I
see, yeah, I think that was the biggest thing we were all concerned about. The red flag kind of being, oh, what else is going on?
Yeah, he goes on and says, when I found out, she tried telling me that she was trying to make sure she was making the right decision, so that's why.
Oh, that makes him feel better. Well, then it's fine. If
you see, honey,
trying to be super sure.
I'm dating Brad over here because I just wanted to make sure our love was pure. Okay.
Okay.
I just
twisted.
I just wanted to make sure that what you and I have is real.
Listen, it was just kind of a little reality show you didn't know you were a part of.
You didn't know you were a part of.
Which one's going to make it to the actual wedding?
I mean, Rebecca makes a great point, and she's like, because the Facebook comments, if you're looking, a lot of them are just like, who cares? 2 years, whatever. We're in a pandemic. Let it go. Rebecca's like, all you people saying it's not a big deal to wait. Maybe it is to her, and she didn't get to make that decision. He did. Wait or not isn't the problem. It's that she wasn't involved in the decision making. That's a good point. Like,
that is a really good point. Like, if he really wanted to, he's like, hey, I have a suggestion.
Right.
And this is why. But again, have a reason.
yeah. And instead, he's all like, hey, will you marry me? She's like, yes, yay. He's like, great. 2 years. We'll do it.
See you in 2023.
I know. That's almost like a promise ring, is it not?
Almost.
It's not an engagement ring. That's like a promise ring.
Well, and Karis was like, maybe he has a certain date or wants to be married on, or has family in the military who wants to make sure we'll be back from deployment. I mean, all very valid. But again, it just seems like he would just say that. Like, why not just tell her if there is a specific reason, tell her that. And then there wouldn't be any sort of this weirdness.
Okay. What are we saying here? Are we saying trust your instincts or just? I think she said that she's already tried to get him on the side of, hey, let's at least bump it to next year. Let's get married next year.
Yes, I feel like we still try to have a conversation about just try to get to the root of why. What is so magical about waiting 2 years to him?
Okay,
and then maybe there is a really good reason, and then she can be, on board with that whole plan. But right now, it's like she said, he made up that plan for them, really without consulting her, and doesn't seem to be able to budge on it and not telling her why.
Here's what you do. You just start tossing out availabilities for your church or the place where you want to get married, and it's only next year. Here's a date, here's a date, here's a date. Pick one of these because it's all next year.
They're not going to do it anymore after that.
I don't
Isn't
know.
that weird?
All right. So if you want to chime in and, whatever you weren't able to in the moment, it's up on Facebook, so you can go there. At Ben and Kelly Show.